Welcome to a deep dive into the murky waters of self-awareness and connection. Today, we're venturing into a complex and fascinating realm, exploring how the hidden parts of ourselves, the shadows we often avoid, can silently shape the way we connect with others, especially in romantic relationships. First, let's establish what we mean by the shadow self. Psychiatrist Carl Jung introduced this concept, suggesting that the parts of ourselves we reject or feel ashamed of, our fears, insecurities, and repressed desires, don't simply vanish. Instead, they linger in the subconscious, influencing our behaviors and choices in ways we rarely recognize. If ignored, these hidden forces can spill out, shaping our decisions, reactions, and yes, even the partners we gravitate toward. When it comes to love and attraction, most of us assume we're drawn to the qualities we admire in others. But it runs much deeper than that. Relationships are often forged through the interplay of three key dynamics: attraction, projectile, and unconscious patterns. Each of these taps into the shadow self, weaving a web of complexity that shapes not only who we choose, but how we relate. Although there's no extensive research focusing solely on the shadow self's role in partner selection, a wealth of insight emerges from fields like attachment theory, psychoanalysis, and interpersonal dynamics. The recurring theme is that hidden aspects of our personalities, those we prefer to avoid, play a much bigger role in our connections than we care to admit. Think about it. How often do we fully embrace our deepest insecurities, fears, or unresolved conflicts? Rarely, if ever. Confronting the shadow feels like peeling back layers of armor, exposing vulnerabilities we'd rather keep hidden. Yet this avoidance doesn't erase them. Instead, it strengthens their influence, allowing these powerful emotions to shape how we behave in relationships. One of the clearest manifestations of the shadow in relationships is projection. This occurs when we unconsciously attribute parts of ourselves, both positive and negative, to others. A partner's perceived flaws might irritate us, not because they're inherently terrible, but because they reflect something we refuse to acknowledge within ourselves. Similarly, we might idolize traits in someone else that represent qualities we've disowned or repressed. This interplay of attraction and projection often leads us to partners who seem to embody familiarity. But here's the twist. This familiarity isn't always healthy. It frequently stems from early relationships, particularly with caregivers. If we grew up with an emotionally distant parent, for example, we might find ourselves inexplicably drawn to partners with similar traits. Why? Because even unhealthy dynamics can evoke a sense of safety simply by being recognizable. Unconscious desires also come into play. These often manifest as a pull toward traits that fulfill hidden needs or fantasies. For instance, someone with a deep need for control might be drawn to a partner who is naturally more submissive, creating a dynamic that reinforces their internal narrative. On the surface, this might look like opposites attracting, but beneath lies a more intricate dance of shadow-driven desires. And then there's the concept of self-integration, the idea that relationships offer a pathway to connect with and reconcile parts of ourselves we've long neglected. Jung argued that the attraction to partners who reflect our disowned qualities is a subconscious drive toward wholeness. Through these connections, we're given an opportunity, though often a painful one, to face the parts of ourselves we'd rather ignore. This might explain why the initial stages of a relationship often feel magical. Early on, we focus on the aspects of a partner that align with our fantasies or fill perceived gaps within us. But as time passes, red flags emerge, and the rose-colored lens begins to fade. Even so, we might find ourselves clinging to the relationship, ignoring issues that escalate over time. This cycle often repeats, leaving us puzzled about why we're drawn to similar types of people again and again. Understanding these patterns requires a willingness to confront the shadow self directly. It's not an easy process. Acknowledging repressed feelings and unresolved conflicts never is. But it's essential for breaking free from the unconscious forces that shape our choices. By facing these parts of ourselves head-on, we regain a sense of agency, stepping out of the cycle and into intentional connection. The shadow self's influence on relationships is undeniably complex, a blend of unconscious familiarity, hidden desires, and the innate human drive for wholeness. While it's impossible to unravel every thread, researchers have explored related fields that offer valuable insights. Studies on attachment, projection, and interpersonal dynamics shed light on why we're drawn to certain people and how our hidden selves shape these connections. So, what can you take away from all this? Knowledge brings awareness, and awareness brings choice. You can choose to explore these hidden patterns, peeling back the layers to understand what drives you or not. There's no right or wrong here, but acknowledging the shadow's presence gives you the power to decide whether to face it or let it continue to guide you from the shadows. Ultimately, the journey toward understanding the shadow self is deeply personal, and its rewards are as unique as the challenges it brings. And so, as you navigate the intricate dance of relationships, remember, the more you know about the forces at play, the more freedom you have to shape your path.